This Tuesday, I visited my mom's pharmacy to get my first COVID shot. Just 2 or 3 hours after I returned home Tuesday evening, I already noticed a little bit of the side effects, such as dizziness. And after the actual golden rule, which you might know if you heard it growing up in church like I did, I have a second golden rule, which is you never, ever play a game of chess half-assed. So I took my own advice. I rested Tuesday evening, determined to hit it hard on the chessboard at full strength when I woke up Wednesday morning. But to my dismay, when I woke up Wednesday morning, I was at anything but full strength, guys. As I logged into chess.com, determined to fight through the pain, just like any warrior, which most of us chess athletes are. I was making uncharacteristic mistakes, poor clock management, leaving key pieces out in the open for enemy attacks. So I shut it down for most of Wednesday too. It's Friday now, and I'm still only at about 80% of my full strength. So in hopes to gain an edge or dig down deep to find any motivation that could fulfill that last 20% of my chess potential for you guys tonight, I spent this afternoon watching highlights from the 1997 NBA Finals, Game 5, Utah Jazz versus Chicago Bulls. For you basketball fans out there, I think you know where I'm going here. But for those of y'all who just played chess growing up and didn't really get into sports, I'll fill you in real quick. Game 5 of the 97 NBA Finals was Michael Jordan's famous flu game. Michael was suffering from flu-like symptoms before tip-off, so while his teammates were warming up, Michael Jordan was supposedly spending some time in a dark room just trying to get a little bit of rest since he did not sleep the night before. And what impresses me most about Michael Jordan is not his superior natural talent or his unparalleled work ethic. As I watched those highlights of the 97 flu game, what amazed me was, aside from a few uncharacteristic moments in the first quarter, Michael dominated some of the best athletes on this planet and put up 38 points. And he was half awake and physically weak, at least compared to what Michael Jordan healthy would be. Strong for most people. Look, unless you saw the exhausted look on Michael's face or saw Michael using his teammate as crutches after the game because he was so fatigued from carrying his team to a win, you would never know that he was in any physical or mental pain. It's almost like he had had so many practices and been in so many intense clutch scenarios up to that point that he didn't even think about what his opponents were trying to do to stop him. He was just executing and letting instinct take over. Look, I'm not crazy enough to compare the mental toughness you're about to witness when I share my screen in a few minutes to that of Michael Jordan in his 97 flu game. I would never compare my chess game to anything of Michael Jordan's, not because I feel chess is any less impressive than the great sport of basketball, Also, I wouldn't even say that the dynasty Michael Jordan built with the Bulls in the 90s is superior to the dynasty I plan to create within the chess community one day. I just would not want to give Michael Jordan any ammunition to use as motivation against me, just in case he got into chess post-retirement. That dude can flip a switch and really go after people. I want to be on his good side if I ever get to play him in a game of chess. So I gotta go check on my laundry. I'm gonna let Rihanna sing y'all a song, and then we'll get this thing rolling. All right, week 2. Microphone's not gonna do much good there.
Crazy over you, I said SOS, won't help me. It's not healthy for me to feel this. Why, oh, you are making this hard. Tossing and turning, can't sleep at night. Time, someone come and rescue me. It's got me losing it. Got you looking for the rest of me. Me, the standing losing it. Someone come and rescue me. My mind's got me losing it. She got me looking for the rest of me. La 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 la.
All right, thanks, Rihanna. If any of y'all listening out there ever feel the need to criticize my vocals or instrument playing ability, look, I could probably use some lessons. And I'd like to take lessons, but that would really dip into my chess practice, and I'm not willing to make that sacrifice. So y'all are stuck with this. Here we go. Bad news though, laundry wasn't done, but my rook necklace just came in the mail a few minutes ago. Check that out. So now we got a little bit of yin yang to remind me that as dark as this COVID world can get sometimes, there's still just a little bit of good. And also to keep my head level when things are going well, and remind myself that if I get cocky, even good people have a little bit of bad. And then a rook, because I just love chess. Ah, man. My Pepsi drinking. I will not have my Pepsi for the game now. It's all right. We'll suffer through it. Look, as I mentioned, I'm about 80% full strength. I got to do a little bit more before I'm really ready to take on this next enemy and share my screen. I'm gonna tell a quick story. When I was a little kid, I'd say junior high or maybe even younger, me and my dad went to Jupiter, Florida, and watched the St. Louis Cardinals in their spring training. It was really cool to see Major League Baseball players still getting down to the fundamentals that even I was practicing as a young kid, and I was certainly far from their talent. And now that I'm of the age where I could be in the MLB now, I realize I just didn't have the potential. I'm still not that talented. And Yadier Molina was even kind enough to take a break from his drills and sign my catcher's mitt. Wow. And like most people, I would certainly rather watch an elite performer, whether it be a Major League Baseball catcher or a talented vocalist, or even a brain surgeon. I would rather see them, once they're at the peak of their talents, performing live. It's more exciting. But a good lesson too is, with all the social media and news we see today, we only get to see the elite performers once they're already at the top of their field. You know, you see the CEO speaking at age 50, but you don't get to see all the bad speeches he or she gave up to that point. You know, you see grandmaster level chess athletes dominating some of the best competition in the world now, but you don't see the lonely, sleepless, crying nights, or even those who love them started to doubt their talents. And you don't get to see how those elite performers overcame that adversity. And that sets up a really bad situation, especially for young kids these days. It's causing depression. Is they make the very wrong assumption that they are simply not capable of the success that CEOs and chess grandmasters and musicians experience and enjoy at the top of their game. And though natural talent is a huge aspect of being great at anything, especially chess, those grandmasters never would have got to that point had they not taken each chess practice session, each chess puzzle, each chess battle, one move at a time, and be present each day, repeating that over the course of years. Assuming they were just naturally that good, creates a very poor scenario where one can make excuses and never try. And I would never want a young, ambitious chess enthusiast to look at the game of chess with anything less than love. I would hate to see them get burnt out before they come to know the warmth and companionship that many find in this great sport of chess. So there's your message. Rome wasn't built in a day. Grandmasters were not either. Take each day, one day at a time, one task at a time. And then in a few decades, you never know. You might be playing Magnus Carlsen on a podcast. All right. So usually I don't like to show y'all my practice because really I want y'all to watch my podcast, of course, but I like to show respect for the viewer's time, mainly because I don't want y'all spending a lot of time on YouTube. I want y'all spending time with your families or practicing chess. As long as your chess addiction doesn't get to where it's affecting your romantic relationships negatively or getting you fired from your job, I just want you to spend as much time playing chess as possible. All right? I don't want y'all watching me. That's not going to make you necessarily better. Just here to give you a break from your chess practice. All right. Similar to my experience with my dad in spring training when I was a little kid. Y'all are about to witness a treat also. You see me warm up. All right, let's do a few puzzles. And you know what? We're going to do 3 minutes of puzzles, 3 minutes of silence. Silence which will only be disrupted by me chanting a few chess mantras to fine-tune my mental state before this duel, or maybe even a few quick prayers to make sure I keep perspective and don't let the competitive, intense aspect of my personality get out of control where I can't shut it down and live a happy life also. Even something as great as chess, you don't want too much of a good thing. And I've heard that's possible even with something as beautiful as chess. All right, 3 minutes, here we go. Let's do some puzzles. Okay, what do we got? White to move. Okay. So that enemy pawn's hanging. And then we'll put them in check. Yep, there we go. And now, my friend, you are toast. All right. Activate key pieces toward the center early. Remember piece valuations, queen 9, rooks 5 each, bishop to knight 3. Though pieces vary depending on position, especially the knight. Knight in the center is probably more valuable than 3. A knight in the corner is less valuable than 3. Situational. All right, next puzzle. Already on time. Well, man of my word, 3 minutes. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. One more puzzle, quick prayer, and then we'll get it done. So I can have that. That's easy. That's not so easy. You want me to take the rook? Okay. Yep. We're in 4 can get the knight. That makes sense. Yep. Man, how did I not think of that? And now we're protecting our bishop. Okay. Please grant me the serenity to control the things I can, forget the things I cannot, and the wisdom to know the difference. Great prayer for life and chess. All right. 3 minutes is up. Let's play some chess. Y'all enjoyed that laid back 3 minutes? Because if you viewed the first weekly battle that I posted last Friday, this tornado's been swirling for 6 days since then. And it's ready to wreak havoc once again. All right. Gear up with some Beethoven. And one more, not really a story, but just a life lesson from the game of chess. Probably the most important lesson for my life, which is, look, my brain works very well in short, intense, focused sessions, whether it be in business, conversation with family, friends, or chess. Once I get to 2 hours max without at least a minute or 2 break to go walk around or decompress, I'm pretty much useless. And that's okay. And that frustrates a lot of people because I'd say more people take the mentality of longer sessions. And I don't see anything wrong with that because some people can go for 4 or 5 hours without a break and still get a lot out of their chess practice. Now, the 1 or 2 hour sessions I have definitely have more intensity and more energy in them than someone who spends 4 or 5 hours at a time practicing. But a lot of people can sustain still a very high energy level for those 4 or 5 hours. And that's the point, is it's not that their practice approach is better than mine or worse than mine. It's just different. And that's something that would be really valuable to increase your happiness during uncertain times like we're experiencing today. I've learned in chess that there are times when there is a bad move, like a universally terrible decision in chess. Like my grandma, who I love dearly, and she's very bright and beautiful. Her name's Sue. She's also probably the biggest supporter of my young chess journey. And she spent a little bit of time watching me play, and she's learned the basics pretty quickly. She's a real bright lady. Y'all would love her if I ever get her on the podcast. But there are moves that even my pretty inexperienced grandma could see that move being made and be like, hey, idiot, you left your queen hanging. Can't lose a queen early. And my grandma would be right. That would be a universally bad move to sacrifice your queen and get nothing in return. On the other hand, there are a lot of moves that I might not make, but someone with a different playing style might thrive on. For example, there are times where one might trade a bishop for a rook, you know. Maybe I trade and I offer my rook up and I only get a bishop in return, but I also maybe prevent castling or prolong an attack that I have set up, or that move might buy me time to set up my defense. And sure, not everyone's going to agree with that move, but if the circumstances are correct and the move makes sense to my playing style, it's not a wrong move, it's just different. It's good to be different. You don't want to imitate others. You gotta be the best you can be. All right, I got a little deep and emotional there. And as you'll hear me say frequently, chess is not any place for emotions. And for example, one of my friends plays chess with his wife, and it works for them. They're happy together. They're great people. Not me, man. If or when I'm married one day, that would be a recipe for disaster. Because you got to have 100% logic and focus, which means, at least for that game, your opponent can't be someone you love or even a friend. That's why you'll hear me refer to my opponents as enemies. Even if I play a game with my closest friend on this podcast one day, someone who I'd die for. For that game, he's the enemy. All right, let's go. 20-minute game. Let's get some Beethoven rolling. We're going to do 2 focus points. That's how you form habits. You don't want to overwhelm yourself. I'd say I probably instilled dozens of important principles into my chess toolbox to this point, but I take it 1 or 2 at a time to make sure I really form that habit before I move on to others. And now, I have 2 key ones that I'm actively engaged on applying during this battle, and the other few dozen, they just come naturally because I put way too much time into chess. All right, 2 key focus points. Activate pieces towards the center early. That's number 1. Second focus point, play good positional chess to gain a material advantage. All right. Let's battle. Here we go. Stopwatch out of here. It's distracting me. Okay. I don't want to play weaker competition. I'll just humiliate you. Sweden. We're going to have to give it a minute. I'm going to auto abort this one. I get to the point where I don't even want to mess with weaker enemies. I like being the underdog for 1, and 2, I have a friend from high school who now lives in Baltimore. His name's Neil. Great guy, very smart guy too. I actually drove from Missouri to Indianapolis, about 18 hours total, to see Neil, catch up and play chess. But Neil's rating is far lower than his talent. He's like an 800 something rating, but it's because he doesn't play a lot. So what do I have to gain from those games with Neil? I call it scared. I call it wanting to reach the 2,500 player rating so I can be considered a grandmaster. That means you got to be a little bit of a savage at times. All right, here we go. New 20 minutes. Activating pieces toward the center early. Playing good positional chess to win a material advantage. All right, here we go. Hey, chess gods. Give me someone rated higher. I want a challenge. Let's go. New 20 minutes. Thank you. All right, another rule. Never want to go into a chess duel intimidated. And I got a higher rated opponent. I got a little bit of fear. So before I make my first move, you'll have to excuse me and cover your kids' ears if you have any young kids listening. Let's go! Let's go! All right. Locked in. Let's go. And one of the reasons you'll notice I always check the country before I start my chess battles is just in case I know anything about that country through what little I paid attention in high school history. It might be enough to give me a little bit of insight into, all right, we'll play some, what is this? The Roy Lopez. This is a close Spanish version of the Roy Lopez opening that I'm hoping to play. Nope, he's not playing it. He switched it up on me. That is not, see, enemy knight was supposed to come there if we're going to play the standard, but it looks like he's not playing the standard. That's all right. But I like to know, dude, you're really out of position early. But I like to know a little bit about my enemy in hopes that I could gauge, is he going to be aggressive? What type of chess is he going to attack me with? Any edge I can get is always fantastic. No, I don't want to do that. Okay. I don't know much about the Philippines, so it's pretty much irrelevant for my purposes. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Man, surely he's not going to leave that rook. Sometimes I got to be careful. I really need to gauge my opponent in the first few moves. If I feel my enemy might be stronger than me, then I need to adjust accordingly. For example, every now and then I get like a 1400 or 1500 rated opponent thrown at me, and I love that opportunity to battle with stronger. Ratings don't mean everything, but what should be a stronger opponent. But if I sense a stronger opponent after the first few moves, I really need to flip my mindset, which means and flipping my mindset against a stronger enemy would specifically mean really be self-aware and avoid playing too much defensive chess when under enemy attack. And that's because if you, whatever, dude. Do I want to trade queens? Not really. We'll do it. Fine. Nope, don't want to do that, man. Don't. Fine. I'll trade queens. You win. Yeah, it's bad. I don't get the castle. Dang it. I'm talking. I like to socialize with y'all, but not at the expense of my chess player rating. Dang it. That's weak. All right, now you can't get my rook. I'll wrap this thought up and then I got to lock in before enemy overpowers me here. I'm protecting that rook. But if you sense an enemy is strong, especially from an attacking standpoint, then you really just gotta make sure you focus on counterattacking versus just playing defense. Otherwise, you'll never get out of defense mode and you'll just get absolutely demolished. And I'm sensing this enemy might be stronger, especially in terms of attacking. So that's what I'm gonna have to do is really just get after it on the attacking and counter attacking. Otherwise, I'll just be a victim, and a victim's mentality is a miserable way to live life. It's just not a good approach. Okay, so enemy bishop, it's got the white squares covered. I'm thinking rook coming down, attacking that alley, so I've got to get this king out of the middle. I wish I would have castled and paid more attention to the opening, but I can't rewind time. So you're gonna see a lot of creativity in the middle game to make up for my errors in the opening, okay? I like to keep my king off the back line. I think that's called a rank. Grandmasters, I apologize if I'm wrong. I've been wrong before, I'll be wrong again. That way my rooks can get connected soon. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it right there. Yep. Try to get these other key pieces active and on the attack. That way, okay, that's cool. Okay. That way I can put some heat on them before enemy starts really attacking hard, okay? So now that's gonna prevent the rook from sliding over and getting that open lane in the center. Enemy's certainly not stupid at this level, which is good and bad. Sometimes it's nice to have an easy win to boost your confidence, but I don't get those often anymore. Okay. That's the thing. You always want to respect your enemy. Healthy respect is good. Fear on the battlefield of chess is a recipe for humiliation. But even when I'm playing a lower rated enemy, and I can just tell after the first few moves that he doesn't belong on the same chess territory as myself, even then you still want to show respect for your enemy. It's a bad habit to go into any battle thinking that you've got it locked up. You want to be confident at all times. Always want to be confident, but never, ever should that confidence turn into complacency, because complacency gets you beat. I'm not here to get beat. I'm here to be the best. Okay. I'm thinking, let's force that bishop out of there. I'm worried enemy can now move his rook because I blocked my rook's path. That's a mistake. It's all right. Okay. Okay. Can't let the rook have that pawn. And I don't even want to mess with thinking about that pawn promoting to a queen anytime in the near future. Oh, shoot. That bishop's going to protect it, though. That's all right. So this bishop here in the center. All right. Material is equal right now, as you'll see. But I have played a very subpar battle to this point that I'm not proud of, which only means can only go up from here, up, up. I think that's a song. If not, I'm not going to debate. I lost my mind several months ago, but I'm fairly happy, believe it or not. Okay. See, you're not in great position for you outplaying me in the open here, bud, because your bishop ain't going anywhere. It can go there, but it's not, because my rook's going to steal enemy bishop. Your bishop could go there, and I'd probably consider a bishop trade right now. Yeah, let's do it. Got a reoccurring Zoom on Fridays with one of my closer friends. He's a friend in Baltimore. Hoping I can persuade my friend Neil to help me do some drawings after these videos, because I try to be very descriptive in my language and storytelling. Without good storytelling, the battlefield of life is incredibly, incredibly boring. But some people are visual. I'd say I'm more of a visual learner, and so I'd like to get some artwork on these videos after the video is done and really make sure that I'm explaining well my thought process behind moves. And it's a great opportunity to have someone I'm certainly not a beginner. I'd say I'm a little bit above intermediate. Especially, when the money's on the line, that's when I tend to perform at my best. Yeah, why did I do that, man? That's something that's cool about having me do this versus a grandmaster is I'll be the first to tell you I don't really know what I'm doing, which is a great opportunity for a beginner, because I think more like a beginner, but I play a little bit more towards the side of a grandmaster, I like to think. So it's great learning. Now I gotta really play well. Why would you gave away a bishop, man? That's just, you can't do that stuff, man. Not if you want to win. I certainly do. Gosh, dang it. Make good decisions. Come on, let's go. It ain't over till the fat lady sings. I'm not really in the mood to try and go find a very talented vocalist who happens to be obese, but you get my point. I'm gonna fight till the end. I'll do whatever it takes. That sounded dark. I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean like I'm gonna be violent. I do a lot of things in my pursuit of chess chess legendary status, which is what I'm after for sure. But violence is not one of those things. I'm not gonna be violent. It's not worth it. Man, get out of this rook trap here somehow. I'm gonna have to somehow promote one of my pawns to a queen in the end game if I want a shot at this. Enemy outplayed me in the open. Really, I just gave it to him in the open. I didn't get to castle. And now here in the middle game, I don't know that I'm really getting anything back here. We'll win at least a pawn here, probably more. That's important. Every piece counts, especially when you played a subpar open and middle. All right, here we go. Get back in this fight. Let's go. I know you'll hear great wartime leaders give a message somewhere along the lines of, if you're not willing to die for something, you're not really living. I'm not saying I'd die over a chess game. I'm not saying I wouldn't either. Life offers us the opportunity to compete. And without the opportunity to compete against another opponent in any battlefield that we choose to pursue as our life's purpose, our life gets real boring real quick. I'm not here to live a boring life. That's why this dogfight is not going to be over till the very end. I don't care if enemy has 14 queens to my 0. Not good. Okay. Take that pawn. Oh, good move. Good move. Very good move. Dang. Okay. So now you're losing a rook for sure because you are not playing well. Gosh darn it, dude. Man, what are you doing? What are you doing? You gotta. Good move. Gosh. What are you doing, man? That pawn out of there. Play for a draw. Promote this pawn before he promotes one of his army of pawns he's got working in his favor here. This is not good, guys. Be smart about this here. I'm going to need him to make some mistakes, and I'm going to need to play very well. Okay. Gosh, this sucks. Crap. If I go up there, I can protect that pawn, but then, yeah, man. I don't love this at all. Whew, this is ugly. I'm going to have to have my opponent really make some serious mistakes, and I'm going to have to capitalize on every one of them for sure. But that's, well, I hate when people say, anything along the lines of that person got lucky. In any aspect of life, it really hurts my feelings because, yeah, sure, someone might get lucky in life, but also you got to put yourself in a position to get lucky. And it takes a lot of hard work and a lot of risk taking and perseverance under very stressful circumstances. And successful people, that's part of being a successful person. You got to be lucky. And gosh darn it, I'm not going to get this lucky though. Crap, dude. This is bad. Going for a stalemate draw here. It's cowardly. I don't love stalemate draws, but I don't love losing either. Like Tom Brady, my favorite athlete of all time, maybe even favorite person of all time. I don't know. I've never met him. Like to though. Yeah, when Drew Bledsoe got hurt, and what was that, like 2001 or 2 or whatever? Yeah, that's lucky for sure. But how many guys are going to sit on the sidelines as a backup quarterback when a star like Drew Bledsoe is this is bad. I never resign a chess game, but man, I'd like to. But when a star like Drew Bledsoe is in his prime, you know, most human beings are going to, can you just end this, dude? This is cruel. This guy, I don't like this guy. Who is this? I'm gonna send him a friend request and then just practice so I get really good and I just smoke him one day. Jerk. But how many backups are going to sit on the sidelines mentally preparing after every single rep the starter makes, visualizing as the backup themselves in that pressure-filled role, so that just in case on the off chance the backup gets his or her shot, then that backup is ready to go right then, because opportunities in life, you know, you might get one opportunity to change the world, and this world needs changing. And when Tom Brady got his shot, he won a lot of Super Bowls. And his backup, I think his name was Drew Henson. I'm reading Tom's book again. I kind of skimmed it the first time, but now I'm really reading it, the TB12 method. And it got me into Tom's background at Michigan. And they had a really talented freshman, I believe, come in by the name of Drew Henson. He was a Major League Baseball prospect also. You're a jerk, man. Come on. And Drew came in. I think Tom was either a junior or senior at the time, and they kind of wanted to replace Tom and get Drew in there. I hate this guy. Bunch of better things to do, man. And you know, Tom would often start the football game at Michigan, and then the second half, Drew would come in. And Bill Belichick even mentioned later that, you know, he's no genius because he wanted to take Tom earlier, but they kept throwing this freshman out there in front of him. And if the coaches in college aren't sold on their quarterback, then how can an NFL scout or coach be sold on Tom Brady? And that's what I love about Tom Brady is, oh, let's go! Stalemate draw, yeah! Man, you deserve that, coward. Sit there and screw with my time like that. Take it. Let me wrap this up. But Tom, when all the other NFL quarterbacks got used to being more talented than all their competitors, some of them, they didn't learn what it meant to compete and what it meant to be challenged, because they were always the most talented. And when you get to the NFL, then everyone's super talented. But Tom had learned how to handle adversity and how to handle somebody threatening a spot, because when he was getting 2 or 3 reps of practice, in his book, he talks about seeing, I believe, a sports psychologist, which said, hey, Tom, you know, if you don't take your 2 reps seriously, you'll never get 3. If you don't take your 3, you'll never get 5. And if you sit here and bitch about not getting enough reps, you'll never get more. And so Tom learned to compete when more talented future NFL prospects at other colleges, it wasn't handed to him, but they didn't have to worry about someone taking their job. And what's crazy about Tom is still at age 43 or whatever now, after winning the Super Bowl with Tampa, you still see that hungry, kind of betrayed 20-something-year-old who went into New England's training camp not even likely to earn a spot. And even after all that success, he still looks like that 20-year-old kid with a chip on his shoulder, and that's what you got to love. You can not like Tom Brady, you got to respect Tom Brady for that. And I don't really remember how that relates to my chess game, but I probably just like Tom Brady, and I like to talk about Tom. That's what you got to learn. You got to learn how your brain works, and you've got to accept that if you want to get good at anything, then you're gonna have to get beat up a little bit sometimes. Good for parents too. Like, I love my parents more than anything in the world. They love me. They say even more than I love them. I never had human kids, but I'll take their word for it. But sometimes growing up, especially my mom, just because she is the best mom ever, wants to protect me from life's cruel stuff. And there's some cruel stuff. But if you protect your kids too much, especially during COVID, you don't want to let them do something that might ruin their lives, but you got to let them get beat up a little bit. It's the only way to get stronger. I've gotten beat up so much since COVID started. I'm kind of starting to like it, and that's I don't know if that's healthy. All right, I don't do stalemate draws, so we're gonna play another. Now, you know what? Let's end it. All right. Look, here's my message to end this for the week. Unless your chess addiction is wreaking havoc in your romantic relationships or posing risks to your employment and ability to provide for your family, my message is this: make sure you play even more chess than you already are. All right, we'll see y'all next week. Y'all know I'm just kidding. I had planned to play 2 games for this week's podcast the whole time. I just wanted to do that little ending segment just in case. I don't really want to spend the time going back in to edit out the video and stuff. I don't have time for that. But I definitely would not post anything less than my best performance. So it'll be real easy. If on some rare chance I play this next game poorly, which I won't, I'll just crop it out and y'all never know. But I plan to win, so y'all will probably be watching this next game. Let's get a little bit of song in here. I didn't play great last game. I gotta work that. Sorry, I'm here. No longer needed. All right. I've actually got this as an LLC called One Night Stand, so I could hire people if I had any money. That's what I want to do. I'm sure chess is great being played under any setting, but I can't imagine chess would not be a little bit more fun on an island being played in a condo with chessboards made of pure gold scattered all across the island while I improve my chess skill set with my best friends beside me. That's my goal. Build a chess dynasty and somehow monetize it to where I can just play chess all day on an island. Because I ain't going back to corporate America. Not even if I wanted to, because they wouldn't take me. I'm not sure that I want to be an entrepreneur, that I think of myself as an entrepreneur. But I've learned some stuff about how to run a business well after watching and learning from my previous leaders. I don't agree with all their decisions, but I don't have to. Still take what I like about their talents and implement them to my own skills. But I do know when I was in college, I was all like, you know, I don't want to go and make the man rich and work for the man. But then my mom was like, you know, Dave, you don't have to work for the man all your life, but working for the man provides you with money to support yourself until you can learn and become the type of person it would take to run a business one day. And looking back, 22-year-old me could not have ran anything effectively. The 26-year-old me today, I think we're gonna run some chess dynasties. Song in real quick, and we'll get after our second game here. Yeah. There it is. Ah. They say money doesn't buy happiness, it does buy a better chess studio, which would make me smile. All right. Yeah. Hey, Lupe. That's the wrong one. Sorry, Taylor, you're not up yet. So prepared. So I'll pull up and listen to you. I'm a minimalist. There we go.
Never lies.
That's what I love about chess. You can't lie on the chessboard. If you suck, it'll come out eventually. Everything he sees, he absorbs and adapts it. Stay. Because at that moment in my to the box, swallowed the combination and then forgot. Yeah, while the doctors got it all down with their pens and pencils, the same ones that took away.
And he never lies. And he never lies.
Never lies, nope.
He never lies. 'Cause he never says anything at all.
Sits and watches the people in their boxes. Hopes they never stop it. Anything the box tell him to do, he does it. Everything they tell him to get, stops sending boxes. But he never sleeps because he stays up to watching the chessboard. I don't sleep. When I close my eyes, sometimes I actually see positions from the previous day. Same ones that took away the light.
And he never lies. Never lies. Never lies, no. And he never lies. Never said anything at all. And you can't tell me just who you are. You buy new clothes just to hide those scars. Hide those stars. We can't take it back to the start. Me just who you are. Buy new clothes just to hide those. You can't take it back to the start. And he never lies. Never lies. Never lies. Never said anything at all. You can't tell me just who you are. You buy new clothes just to hide those stars. To hide those stars. You can't take it back to the start. Tell me just who you are. Buy new clothes just to hide those.
I never claimed to be a world-class musician. If anything, my goal is a less talented, slightly less good-looking version of John Legend one day. But I don't want to be a second-tier John Legend. I don't want to be a second-tier Magnus Carlsen. I want to be a first-rate me. So I'm going to speed it up. We're going to do a 10-minute chess duel. And I apologize if my narrating is not as focused or creative as I'd like to be. But y'all just saw a stalemate draw, and I make fun of people who end games in stalemate draws. So I might have to sacrifice a little bit of entertainment for the sake of my art, my passion, and overall, the most fulfilling thing in life aside from seeing my beautiful puppy Happy, who's at daycare right now because she doesn't handle the music well. We're getting there. Shelter pup. Nova doesn't do well with noise. But aside from seeing Nova smile, probably the most fulfilling thing in my life right now is watching chess.com's pop up at the end of the game and realizing my enemy is probably in some other part of this cruel but still often beautiful world we call Earth. And when I see that checkmate flag pop up from chess.com in the middle of my screen after a game with a little plus sign to signify I've earned a better player rating, not a lot of greater feelings. I'd have to imagine that's what Tom Brady experiences when he wins Super Bowls. I don't know for sure. I've never won one. All right, 10 minutes, 2 focus points. Last game is history. Tomorrow's not here yet. Let's play some chess. Let's go. 10-minute chess game. Minutes. All right. Really use your time well. See, naturally, my brain. One second. I got to grab some more water. Dehydrated. Dehydration might have been what led to my poor performance last game, because once again, never my fault. What was I saying? Man. Yeah, my brain naturally, it just really is creative. I'm certainly right-brained. And it just really goes really fast, and sometimes that can lead to impulsive decisions. That can also lead to bad moves on the chessboard, which is the worst type of impulsive decision a human being can make aside from physically harming another human being. That's the worst thing one could do. And so I really like to play longer games so I can slow it down. And then if I can combine my creativity, that my natural tendency kind of is in life and chess, and combine that creativity with a little bit of logic. If I can develop a little bit of logic, then ain't no one gonna beat me, man. All right, 10 minutes. Learn from your mistakes last game. You can't change the past, but the only way to make the past productive, you gotta learn from it, analyze your mistakes and improve. You didn't castle, and you got lucky you didn't get a loss. Even if you have to castle after 3 moves, man, castle early and castle often. Point 1, castle early, castle often. Point 2, use your time well, all right? Duel, let's go, let's battle, come on. 11:46, even match. I don't like playing black. I was reading in Gary Kasparov's book, How Life Imitates Chess. Don't quote me, Gary, if you're ever a subscriber. I was reading that at the grandmaster level, 53% of chess battles end in a draw. It makes sense because those people are so talented that it's hard to get an edge, I could imagine. But how depressing is that? Put in all that work and then just get a draw 53% of the time, man? Come on, that stinks. And I was talking to one of my other friends, Andrew, the one of my better friends who I mentioned in week one's duel last Friday. But I was telling Andrew that, at our level, obviously it's not a big deal to play white or black, but at the grandmaster level, I forgot the percentage, but it was incredibly significant at just how dramatically the win percentage increased when a chess athlete was playing as well. I don't want to do that. When a grandmaster was playing as white versus black, that first move, it's the little things in chess and in life. You got to capitalize on little things. Always got to make sure you're doing the little things well. Otherwise, they'll turn into huge, huge crisis points in your life, and you don't want crises. You want a happy life, and I do too. One of my reasons for this podcast. All right, what's going on? My favorite author is Malcolm Gladwell, and in his book, come on now. What are you doing to me here? In his book, we're gonna castle here pretty soon. In his book, I don't remember which book for sure. It's either Tipping Point. It's Tipping Point. Malcolm Gladwell's The Tipping Point. Discusses the broken window theory, which essentially, to put it in less intelligent terminology, because I'm not as smart as Malcolm, he's a genius, changing the way we view life in a positive way often. But the broken windows theory says, if I walk into a really nice neighborhood with $1 million homes, with great people, and one of those homes out of, king side or queen side? King side. One of those homes out of those, say 300 in the neighborhood, has a little window that's broken. Out of the many beautiful windows in that neighborhood and in that home, one window's broken. All right. That's hanging. Gosh, I got a castle though. But a bad guy sees, okay, that window's broken. Doesn't mean much, but we'll keep an eye on it. And so that bad guy decides to check back in with that house with a broken window 3 weeks later. And that bad guy notices that beautiful home in that beautiful neighborhood still has that very ugly broken window. Naturally, a bad guy assumes, okay, maybe this beautiful, warm neighborhood with these great people isn't quite as safe. Ooh, yeah, we don't want a castle inside anymore. Maybe it's not quite as safe as we once thought. And then they just test the waters a little bit, Maybe I might be able to get away with just a little bit of maybe I might be able to get away with just a little bit of bad guy stuff, like, some minor theft. And then the bad guy realizes, okay, no one caught me there. And now there's another house, that looks a little bit, tempting to a bad guy, since they're not going to clean up their broken windows. Little things become a big thing. And now suddenly, just because they didn't fix that little broken window, okay. Bad guys push the limits. That's what bad guys do. One broken window turns into mass chaos. What could have been a very nice, pleasant neighborhood turns into a crime-ridden mess. Okay. That's the message. It's the little things in life. Do little things well, you'll eventually be a star. That's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to steal that knight. It's the first step to my stardom. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so you're going to hand me your bishop. That's too kind. No, because you're rook. Okay, that makes sense. Dang. Yeah, I'm gonna take it. All right. I need to somehow win this bishop. Got to. Yeah. No, because then he's bringing, gosh darn it, good moves. I think that en passant rule would say, though, shoot, come on. If enemy pawn comes up here, I think that en passant rule would say I can capture, because he's got to give me the chance to capture before he just goes off and advances his pawn 2 squares. Okay, that's fine. Enemy bishop takes rook. I win a rook. Perfect. Enemy wants to take his rook to my bishop. I'll happily take a rook in exchange. Okay. All right. Now, are you going to be so kind as to let me steal your bishop with my knight, my friend? One of those things that, I'm not really interested in being your friend, but be a kind gesture that I would certainly not pass up on. Okay. You can go there, though. Gotta go there, right? That's the only move you got. Yep. Oh, shoot. Oh, because then why not? Why not? Oh, okay. Nope, because then you can't defend your rook. Oh, no. Okay. All right, lock in here. Let's go. You're chatting, which is the point of a podcast. I get that, but not at the expense of your chess performance. Okay. Makes no sense. Now I can win a bishop. No, I can't. Okay. I see what you're doing here. Well played. Well played. Man. All right, you better lock in, man. So I gotta get that pawn out of there. It's really going to be devastating. Okay. Risky. I'm a risky kind of guy. Okay. Man, this is not looking good, man. You have to come out with some crazy shenanigans here if you want to win this game, man. Put on that crap. Desire is something that's fantastic in life, but sometimes wanting it bad enough, it just doesn't bring wins. And I certainly want it more than anyone on this planet does. But right now, here's what I know for sure. I'm not accepting a stalemate draw. I'd rather lose than deal with that stalemate draw cowardness like I did last game. If I had any pull in the chess officiating community, I take whatever section discusses stalemate draws. Here's what I do. Since we're, a more tech-savvy generation than when chess became so great so long ago. Yeah, okay. That's fine. Understand the thought process there. Let's just do this. I'm just not. This is just a shitty game. Sorry, pardon my language. But what I would do is, now that we're more tech savvy here in 2021, okay, fine, whatever. Gosh, dang. Anyway, what I would do is I would do a control find in the chess rulebook, which is essentially to pick out any key terms and filter by those. And what I would do is I would type in the search term stalemate draw. And then I would print out the chess rulebook with every time the search term stalemate draw was found, it was highlighted, that page number. I would take every page with the word stalemate draw in the chess rulebook. I would rip it out, put it in a shredder, take that entire shredder, throw it in a fire and watch it burn slowly, so the stalemate draw was gone from chess forever. It's violent, it's dark, but sometimes my mind is. It's okay to talk about it. Otherwise, you bottle it up to the point where it gets unhealthy. All right. I lost, but I lost like a man, and I didn't draw. Not my best outing, for sure. And I was hesitant to even post this. I know I'm still not sure if I'm going to post this last segment because that game was embarrassing, but if nothing else, it's proof to grandmasters that I am human and I am beatable. Maybe make the offer to play me one day a little more tempting. All right, last story. Love my dad, great coach, great guy. And one of our sayings growing up when he coached me, especially in baseball, was keep your mouth shut and play ball. And that translates into business terms or relationship terms as something along the lines of actions speak louder than words. And though the results didn't turn out the way I'd hoped for this week's duels, I hope that my passion and my potential was obvious to any grandmasters or chess enthusiasts out there. So I don't have a lot to say. I just want my mindset and my potential to speak for itself. So I'll end with that. Taylor, close you out. There you go, Taylor. All right. Set up again for next week.
And I heard about you. Oh, you like the bad ones too.
I'll rap too, but I don't like to mix rap and chess because I have to think a lot while I do both, and I don't want to sacrifice my chess performance. Look, my message is going to be consistent. I don't claim to be better than any grandmasters or any very talented, experienced chess players out there. But here's what I know. Once COVID clears up especially, I've got a DGT smartboard. I'm willing to travel. And though you might beat me on normal rules, if you're willing to play on my turf and willing to accept that the rules of our game will be significantly and very creatively slighted to give me the advantage, as long as you can accept those things, you better bring your best shot, because I certainly will.
I don't want to touch you, I just want to be just another X-Star. I don't want to hurt you.
Miss you, sorry.
Girls do. I just want to be drinking on a beach and you'll play some chess with me. I know what they all say, but I don't want to play. I want to be your end game.
I'll open by the book. I'll keep myself in the game, in the middle game. And like Taylor said, I want you in the end game. All right, now I'm done for real. Have a good week. Too lazy to crop out the part where I walk back in. It'd be way cooler if I could figure out how to end it when I walk out the door. There's some cheese, though. There we go.